Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Morning to all. General Caballes, Dr. Ibarra, my lovely people listening to me this morning. I will not give you a long message. I'll make it as brief as possible because it is not nice to have an audience who are standing. I would rather have you seated, but the rules have to be followed. I've been asked to talk to you about gender equality. Well, I'll give you, to start my message, a very simple incident that happened at one time when I was the Philippine ambassador in Paris, accredited to UNESCO. That period of time in UNESCO, I was the spokesperson for the group of 77. Ang gusto kong sabihin yon, I spoke for the developing world. In other words, the Philippines was the leader of the developing world. Nagkaroon ho kami ng discussions on certain subjects in UNESCO where the developed world wanted to remove certain competency of UNESCO and bring it to another place. Ayaw ho ng developing countries. So I was the spokesperson fighting for the developing countries. As usual, the developed world, maski ilan ho sila, kami napakarami nating mga estadong developing, but they have the power. At akala mo, as is usual with the developed world, power is what matters in relations to states. Eh kung power ang kanila ay lakas sa military power, ang power namin ay lakas sa the reality that we are states that they have to relate to, and without us, sila na lang. Okay. So we went in those discussions, and nananalo ho ang developing world. It was International Women's Day when we were going to end our discussions. And of course, being a lady spokesperson, sabi nila, mabuti pa kayo, it's good that your spokesperson is a lady. It says, Happy International Women's Day, sabi nung spokesperson ng developed world. Sabi niya, how lucky you women are because you have an International Women's Day and an International Men's Day. We men do not have that. So, when my turn for speaking came, I said, thank you for being courteous enough to extend and acknowledge the fact that there is International Women's Day. But maybe you do not know why we have International Women's Day and International Women's Month. Maybe I have to enlighten you, gentlemen. But the simple fact that we have it because you men, every day is Men's Day. So we have to emphasize that women should also have every day as Women's Day. So that did it. So sabi ko sa kanila, that is gender equality. Men and women every day have to complement each other in carrying out the task of whatever it is that we are assigned to do. And that's the essence of gender equality. It's not a question of competition. It's not a question of rivalry. It's a question of complementarity. If a woman can do what a man can do, and both of them can do it together without having to quarrel or considering themselves as antagonists, you have achieved something. You're working together as human beings who can do a job together and strengthen the effort for the benefit of whoever you want to benefit. That is the very essence of gender equality. Now, if there is a desire on the part of women today to have a little more than what is being enjoyed, it is because, since time immemorial, the issue of inequality has already arisen. It is not us, the human being, who's done that. It is the collectivity of the human being, social construction, done from the very beginning. And so to correct that, we have undertaken the so-called feminist movement. Now, here in the Philippines, I'd like you to know one thing. In the whole of Asia Pacific, the leader of the developing world with respect to gender equality is the Philippines. And maybe you do not know that the UN Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women is a product of the Philippines. It is the second most ratified UN convention in the whole world. The first one is the Convention on the Rights of the Child. The second one is the Convention on the Rights of Women. And who authored that? Senator Leticia Shahani, the sister of President Ramos. And who pushed her to do that? Little people like me and other officers, ladies like me, in the Foreign Office at the time when she was still with us in the service. So finally, when she went to the United Nations, we say in Tagalog, sinulsulan namin siya. Kaming tiga-foreign affairs ng mga babae. Manang Leti, pasok na natin yan. So we pushed it in. At that time, it was the height of the Cold War. There was nobody who wanted to share with us what we were doing. Eh, ang kaibigan naming matalik, ay ang leader ng USSR, si Madam Tatiana Nicolaiba. Nilapitan ko, nilapitan naming mga Pilipina. Chu-chu-chu-chu-chu-chu-chu-chu. Ayos, pinasok yan, now you have the product. Kaya lamang noong kapanahon ng noon, si Carlos P. Romulo, ang aking mahal na Secretary of Foreign Affairs, nagtatago kaming lahat, where is Rosario? Ano ang ginawa mo? Bakit mo ginawa yun? Sir naman, wala namang problema yung tungkol sa bayan eh. Tungkol ho yun sa equality of men and women.